How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Wolfpack Bricks. If you've been in the LEGO community long enough, especially the LEGO Star Wars community, you might be familiar with custom minifigures. The two most well-known producers of them are probably Clone Army Customs and Grandpa Clone Customs. But there is a newcomer you may not have heard of, Republic Customs Store. Not only are their clone minifigures shockingly affordable, but they use the same design language that LEGO does to make them fit in almost seamlessly. And today I have a few of their minifigs to review here. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay, maybe a bit more further ado. I do have a couple of disclaimers before I start. First, this video is completely unsponsored. Republic Customs is not paying me anything to say this, and I spent my own money on these figures. This is a 100% independent fan review, and I'm still willing to criticize them as much as I praise them. Secondly, and probably most importantly, these figures aren't made from official LEGO parts. Both CSC and GCC use official LEGO torsos, legs, and heads for their figures, but Republic Customs uses unofficial parts for all their figures, which is probably part of what makes them cheaper. Even if you are an avid hater of fake LEGO though, I'd still encourage you to stick around because the quality of these minifigs just might change your mind. Okay, now without further ado, we can get going. With this order, I got 2 plain grunts, 2 501st troopers, 2 shock troopers, and 5 wolfpack troopers, for obvious reasons. Each minifigure comes packaged in a small poly bag. Inside each one is the figure, a 3x4 display stand, a DC-15S blaster, and a DC-15A rifle. And the newer ones like this wolfpack trooper also come with fabric comma, a rangefinder, and a plastic pauldron, so you can turn one of your own figures into an officer if you want. The plain grunts don't come with these extra accessories, but they do come with an alternate Phase 1 helmet, so you can choose which era of clone trooper to add to your army. And speaking of which, I want to start with these plain grunts first, because these were actually RCS's essentially pilot figures, so they are somewhat different from their latest wave. I actually have the official LEGO Phase 2 clone trooper to compare here. One thing that's immediately obvious is no helmet holes. They never bother me personally, but I know people will be ecstatic about this. You can also see that the line work is notably thicker on the Republic Customs figure, and the visor shape is ever so slightly different. But other than that, these figures aren't easily distinguishable at a distance. And maybe the best part about the RC troopers is that they come with printed arms. LEGO doesn't usually give this treatment to generic troopers, likely due to budgeting reasons, but they look really good on these figures. As I said before though, RCS released a new wave of troopers with a somewhat different design. So let's compare these shock troopers, one from LEGO and one from Republic Customs. Again, the main difference is that the thicker lines and the printed arms. The RCS shock trooper specifically has technically not dual-molded legs. They're actually printed on, which is a technique that a lot of customs companies use, but you wouldn't even notice unless you were looking really closely in the wrong places, so it still looks amazing. The helmet is definitely where it starts to deviate. The visor is weirdly shifted as well as the cheek plates, but you really only notice when the figures are side by side. However, the helmets also have full wraparound printing and holes for accessories, though the only official LEGO one I can get to work is a rangefinder. Hopefully RC will develop some custom visors to work with these helmets soon. Now, I could sit here and glaze these figures all day, but there are a few problems with them that I should mention. Firstly, the arms tend to be quite stiff, especially on the original Phase 2 troopers, although these are brand new figures, so this might go away with time. Another thing is that the heads are atrociously inconsistent. Hopefully something they plan to fix with future batches. And this last one might not be a problem for everybody, but the figures come with very detailed blasters and accessories like Clone Army Customs does. I know there are people who like these, but personally I don't because they look nothing like LEGO. Fortunately, I have way too many official blasters on my hands, so this is easily fixed. Now it's time to talk about the price. I want to compare the Phase 2 Wolfpack Troopers price across Clone Army Customs, Grandpa Clone Customs, and Republic Customs, since that is one of the clones that each company sells. So, if you want an RP2 Wolfpack Trooper in dark gray from Clone Army Customs, it will cost $27 in USD. If you want GCC's current Howl Trooper, it will cost $22. But Republic Customs Wolfpack Trooper, which, mind you, comes with a display plate, officer's accessories, and 2 weapons, costs $3.79. That's it. Just $3.79. That's less than LEGO's current CMF boxes. And even better, RCS has bundles of figures if you want to save money. You can get a single fig, of course, or you can get a squad pack with 5, a battalion pack with 10, a legion pack with 50, or even an army pack with 100. So, is Republic Customs worth it? I would answer with a resounding yes. There are a few small issues I mentioned, but given the print quality and the affordability, these are easily overlooked. This is the perfect site to visit if you want to start army building clone troopers without breaking the bank. I'll link their website in the description for you to check out. But with all that being said, have a great day and I'll see you again soon. God bless.